Picture yourself at the edge of a precipice, the breath of destiny swirling around you. A single step forward could shape not only your own future, but the legacy of an entire city. This is the crossroads where Leicester City Football Club stands today. By appointing Marti Cifuentes as their new manager, Leicester has not simply changed their leader. They have committed to a daring vision, one that could define the club's direction for years to come. This is more than a managerial shuffle. It is a bold gamble with high stakes, sending shockwaves across English football and beyond. To truly understand what is unfolding, let us rewind and examine the context. Marti Cifuentes, a Spanish coach rapidly gaining renown across Europe, is celebrated for his deep, possession-based approach to football. His footballing philosophy is rooted in intricate movement, relentless pressing, and intelligent ball control, a style that seeks to dominate games by dictating tempo and space. Now, Cifuentes has agreed to a 3-year contract at Leicester City, a time frame that, in football terms, is simultaneously generous and fraught with pressure. In an era where managers are often dismissed after a few bad results, a 3-year deal signals intent and ambition. Cifuentes arrives having left Queen's Park Rangers, a club that has itself been a hub of turbulence and ambition. The process of appointing Cifuentes was anything but straightforward. Upon his departure, he was placed on gardening leave, a period during which the two clubs engaged in delicate negotiations over compensation. Ultimately, Leicester City agreed to pay an undisclosed sum, likely running into several £1 million, as is common for high-profile managerial moves. This financial outlay is significant, especially for a club grappling with the aftershocks of relegation and the ever-tightening constraints of football's financial regulations. With Cifuentes' exit, Queen's Park Rangers have turned to Julien Stéphan, a French manager with a pedigree in youth development and tactical organizations. Stéphan's contract runs until the year 2028, an unusually lengthy commitment that signals a strategic shift for QPR. The deal is laced with performance incentives, encouraging Stéphan not only to deliver immediate results, but to build a foundation for sustainable progress. In a football world defined by short-termism, this is a rare embrace of patience and process. Yet, it is at Leicester City that the drama is most acute. Following a painful relegation from the Premier League, the club faces daunting sporting and financial headwinds. The club's very future is under the magnifying glass of the English Football League's Profitability and Sustainability Rules, known as PSR. Should Leicester be found in breach, they face a possible deduction of 9 points. This is not a trivial penalty. A 9-point deduction can turn a promotion contender into a mid-table struggler overnight. Or worse, drag a club into a relegation dogfight. It is, quite literally, the difference between survival and crisis. Historically, the PSR framework has upended the fortunes of several storied clubs. Consider Derby County. Docked points for financial infractions, the club plummeted down the league and endured years of turmoil. Sheffield Wednesday suffered a similar fate, with devastating consequences for their on-field ambitions and off-pitch stability. The chilling lesson is clear. Once points are lost through regulatory penalties, it can take years to recover, if recovery is even possible. As one eminent football finance analyst observed, Leicester City's financial tightrope is the narrowest it has been in decades. Every decision, from squad selection to sponsorship deals, now ripples through the club's entire ecosystem. Given these high stakes, what exactly does Marti Cifuentes offer Leicester City? And why have the board chosen him as the architect of their future? Cifuentes is, at his core, a modern football thinker. His journey began in the youth divisions of Spanish football, where he was molded by the tactical revolutions that shaped the Spanish game in the early 2000s. He then cut his teeth at Sandefjord in Norway, mastering the Scandinavian game's emphasis on organization and resilience. At Sweden's Hammarby, he led the club to a cup final and a coveted spot in European competition, further honing his reputation for tactical innovation and player development. Most recently, at QPR, Cifuentes earned plaudits for stabilizing a faltering squad and introducing a dynamic, possession-oriented style, despite working under tight financial constraints. Cifuentes' methodology is meticulous and data-driven. He is known for orchestrating training sessions with military precision, analyzing opposition tendencies in minute detail, and building teams that press high, circulate the ball quickly, and exploit spaces with intelligent movement. In many respects, his philosophy echoes that of Enzo Maresca, Leicester's previous manager, whose tenure was marked by bold attacking play and a devotion to ball retention. However, Maresca's Leicester also revealed vulnerabilities. particularly when exposed to quick counterattacks and set-piece threats. For Cifuentes, the challenge will be to retain the creative spark of his predecessor while forging a more robust defensive structure. No easy feat in a division as unpredictable as the Championship. The Championship, after all, is notorious for its relentless pace and physicality. It is a league where tactical ideals collide with gritty realities, rain-soaked pitches, midweek fixtures, and fiercely motivated opponents. The question that haunts Leicester's supporters is simple yet profound. Can the squad adapt to Cifuentes' high-tempo, intricate system quickly enough to avoid early setbacks? Will the players embrace the new philosophy, or will teething problems expose deeper flaws in the club's structure? As a former Leicester stalwart once remarked, "This is a period where dreams can become disasters in the blink of an eye. The pressure is suffocating, and the margin for error is almost non-existent." Yet the tactical questions are only part of the equation. Looming over Leicester is the specter of financial instability. The club's wage bill remains among the highest in the Championship, a legacy of their time in the Premier League. Relegation has slashed their television revenues and forced a re-evaluation of commercial partnerships. Failure to secure promotion this season would tighten the financial vice further, potentially forcing the sale of key assets and eroding the squad's quality. The fate of clubs like Ipswich Town, who languished outside the top flight for nearly 2 decades after relegation, serves as a sobering warning. Poor financial stewardship, hasty managerial changes, and the loss of core players can set off a downward spiral that is difficult to arrest. Cifuentes' remit, therefore, is twofold: deliver results on the pitch, and do so while steering the club through a maze of budgetary constraints and regulatory scrutiny. The comparison to the high-wire world of startup leadership is apt. Imagine a technology CEO tasked with driving growth, satisfying investors, navigating shifting regulations, and fending off ruthless competitors, all while innovating at breakneck speed. Every decision is magnified, every misstep potentially catastrophic, and the clock is always ticking. Meanwhile, a very different narrative is unfolding at Queen's Park Rangers. The arrival of Julien Stéphan signals a decisive shift toward long-term rebuilding. Stéphan, the son of Guy Stéphan, a respected figure in French coaching circles, first rose to prominence at Rennes. There, he guided the club to a historic French Cup victory and secured a rare Champions League berth, achievements that underscored his ability to nurture young talent and foster a culture of collective responsibility. At QPR, Stéphan's mandate is clear: rebuild the club's culture from the ground up, prioritize youth development, and implement prudent recruitment strategies. The leadership has invested in a vision that prizes steady, incremental progress over flashy, short-term gains. This approach is not without risk. QPR's recent history is littered with abrupt managerial changes, inconsistent performances, and financial headaches. The supporters are passionate and fiercely loyal, but patience is a finite resource. Should results fail to materialize quickly, Stéphan and the board could soon find themselves under intense scrutiny. As one seasoned Championship commentator put it, rebuilding is rarely linear. There are setbacks, false dawns, and moments of doubt. But the alternative, constant upheaval and knee-jerk reactions, can be even more damaging. In English football, time is the rarest luxury. Let us now imagine the possible futures awaiting these two storied clubs. For Leicester City, the upside of Cifuentes' appointment is transformative. Should his tactical revolution take hold, Leicester could storm up the table and secure promotion back to the Premier League. The financial windfall of promotion is immense. Over £100 million in television rights, prize money, and increased commercial opportunities. Such a turnaround would restore Leicester's status as a top-flight club, attract new investment, and allow the club to retain or even enhance its playing squad. In this optimistic scenario, the board's gamble on Cifuentes would be lauded as visionary. However, the downside is equally stark. If Leicester struggles to adapt, succumbs to a points deduction, or falters under pressure, the consequences could be severe. Another season in the Championship would deepen financial woes, increase the likelihood of losing star players, and potentially invite further sanctions. The cautionary tales of Sunderland, Leeds United, and Nottingham Forest loom large clubs that once basked in Premier League glory, only to endure years of hardship after mishandling the transition. For Queen's Park Rangers, the spectrum of possibilities is similarly broad. Success under Julien Stéphan would mean steady progress up the table, the emergence of homegrown stars, and the restoration of pride at Loftus Road. The club could become a model for sustainable growth in the Championship, demonstrating that patience and prudent management can yield lasting rewards. But if progress stalls, or the club is dragged into another relegation scrap, the temptation to abandon the long-term project and seek short-term fixes will be strong. QPR's recent revolving door of managers is a stark reminder of the dangers of impatience. Expert voices from both the football and business worlds have weighed in on these developments. A leading sports economist recently remarked, "There are rare moments in football when the right combination of vision and strategic risk-taking can alter a club's destiny. But vision without discipline is just wishful thinking. Sustainable success requires financial stability, clear communication, and a willingness to weather setbacks." Let us dig deeper into the lessons that can be drawn from this high-stakes saga. Whether you are a football fanatic, a business leader, or simply someone interested in leadership under pressure, there are universal truths here. First, embracing strategic risk is inescapable. By taking the Leicester job, Marti Cifuentes has put his reputation on the line, accepting both the tantalizing opportunity and the lurking peril. His challenge is to blend belief in his philosophy with the flexibility to adapt, much like a tech entrepreneur forced to pivot in the face of market shocks. Stefan, on the other hand, represents the virtues of clarity, patience, and methodical rebuilding. His approach serves as a vital reminder that enduring progress is rarely achieved overnight, and that resilience is the ultimate competitive advantage. Fans, investors, and aspiring leaders should view the stories of Leicester City and QPR as living case studies in balancing ambition with operational reality. If you are steering a project, guiding a team, or backing a new idea, consider this. Bold moves must be paired with a sober assessment of risks, transparent communication, and a willingness to endure turbulence. In many cases, the crucible of crisis forges the greatest opportunities. Looking further afield, the stakes for Marti Cifuentes and Leicester City could scarcely be higher. If his high-energy tactics galvanize the squad and the club claws its way back to the Premier League, Leicester will not only achieve financial security, but will also rekindle the passions of its worldwide supporters. Imagine the narrative. A proud club, written off by many, rallies together to overcome a looming 9-point penalty, using it as a unifying force. In such a scenario, Cifuentes would be immortalized alongside the club's greatest managers, remembered for transforming adversity into triumph. Yet the specter of failure is just as real. Should the team falter, or if off-field distractions become overwhelming, Leicester could find itself trapped in a cycle of decline. The threat of forced player sales, additional sanctions, or even a full-scale squad overhaul is not idle speculation. These are fates that have befallen clubs like Portsmouth and Blackburn Rovers after their own Premier League relegations. The warning signs are unmistakable. Without strong leadership and prudent financial management, even the proudest clubs can spiral downward. For Queen's Park Rangers, Julien Stéphan's arrival is a statement of intent. His emphasis on discipline, youth development, and cultural renewal may not deliver instant gratification, but it lays the groundwork for sustainable improvement. Success will be measured not only in wins and draws, but in the club's ability to nurture talent, forge a resilient identity, and maintain stability through inevitable setbacks. The hope is that, in time, QPR can emerge as a shining example for other championship clubs, a testament to the power of patience and purpose. As this drama captures the imagination of fans and analysts alike, one enduring truth emerges. Football management, like global business or high-tech innovation, is less a pursuit of instant victories and more about cultivating adaptability, resilience, and unity. The leaders who endure are those who treat failure as a lesson, embrace change, and persist through adversity. As a veteran manager once said, "In football, the only constant is uncertainty. Those who prepare for it are the ones who ultimately prevail." What can we, as viewers, fans, and aspiring leaders, learn from the journeys of Leicester City and Queen's Park Rangers? Perhaps the most vital lesson is this: bold decisions are essential, but they must be rooted in reality, underpinned by clear strategy, and executed with both courage and humility. Whether on the football pitch or in the boardroom, success favors those who take calculated risks, adapt swiftly, and never lose sight of the broader mission. Before we close, let us consider how these stories mirror trends across global sports and business. In recent years, we have seen clubs like Brentford and Brighton defy the odds by combining innovative analytics, long-term planning, and prudent spending. These clubs have shown that, with the right leadership and strategy, even those with modest resources can disrupt established hierarchies. Leicester's own Premier League title in 2016 remains one of the greatest examples of this phenomenon, a season when vision, unity, and a refusal to accept limitations led to immortality. Similarly, in the business world, companies that dared to innovate, think of Apple under Steve Jobs or Tesla under Elon Musk, redefined entire industries not by avoiding risk, but by managing it with intelligence and resilience. The parallels with football are unmistakable. To lead through uncertainty, you must be prepared for setbacks, maintain clarity of vision, and inspire others to believe in the journey. So as Marti Cifuentes takes his place at the King Power Stadium and Julian Stefan begins his new chapter at Loftus Road, the world watches with anticipation. The coming months will test not only their tactical acumen, but their ability to lead under pressure, unite their squads, and navigate the treacherous waters of modern football economics. If you enjoyed this deep exploration into the intersection of football strategy, economics, and leadership, do not forget to like this video and subscribe for more insightful analysis. Which club's approach resonates with you more? Cifuentes' daring revolution at Leicester, or Stefan's patient, methodical rebuild at QPR? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights might inspire our next episode as we continue to unravel the fascinating interplay between sport, business, and innovation. Stay tuned, because in the unpredictable world